Hi, everybody. It's great to be in Wyoming. My first time here. I want to say thanks to Beth and to the Jentel team for hosting me. It's a great honor. So today, I would like to share with you a couple of things. Well, one thing, and if we have time, another small thing. So I am in the process of adapting a novella that I wrote. I'm in the process of adapting it to a screenplay. And I wanted to share with you the difficulties, the challenges that I've been facing. So last year I went to Buenos Aires and I spent there a couple of months to work on the novella that I wrote. And so I was born in Mexico City and I have lived in different places. I lived in the Bay Area. I lived in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I've lived in Belgium. I've lived in Norway. And now I live in the Midwest. And so one of the themes that interests me is this idea of dislocation, that never really feeling that you belong everywhere and you don't belong anywhere. So so that you can get acquainted with this little project, I wrote a little synopsis. So it's there, but I'll read it quickly for you, just so that you get acquainted with what I'm working here. So a man travels from Mexico City to Buenos Aires to visit his aging father. The father, born in Argentina and exiled in Mexico because of the military dictatorship, has returned because he wants to die in his home country. The son is a successful man who has made money as a renowned accountant. In his spare time, he makes documentaries. His relationship with his father has never been good. The father is tall and good looking, with a tendency to be a womanizer. The son is very short and has a physical defect in his eyes. It's difficult for him to establish intimate relationships with women. On an internet forum for marginalized people, he meets Agus, a young Argentinian girl who has grown up in a disadvantaged and violent environment. The mother was absent. The stepfather offered Agus to men in exchange for drugs. Agus spent some time in jail and was raped by a woman. Manti, as Agus nicknames him, sends her money from Mexico and supports her in any way he can. Agus falls in love with Milena, a very attractive influencer who she follows on social networks since her release from prison. With Sergei's help, they hack into Milena's computer and find out that she's addicted to pornography. Agus decides to offer the best gift to her beloved. Sorry, that's a mistake. To her beloved. The ultimate pleasure Milena could ever experience. A virtual reality helmet and something else too. So that was just so that you could sort of get a gist of the narrative arc. So this is the opening, part of the opening section of the novella. And so you can see that it's written in first person. It's the half Mexican, half Argentinian who goes to Buenos Aires to see his dying father. And so you can see in pink, like the present time. I'm in Buenos Aires because of my dad, who wanted to return to his homeland. So that's present tense, present time. And then in blue, you see that very easily he goes into the past, right? So in literature, this is normal, nothing fancy here. We can move back in time as we please, more or less. But so how do you do that in a movie? As you can see here, so this is called, first what you do is what is called a beat sheet. So basically it's just one line. You do all the sort of the locations, and you do just one sentence. What happens in that particular scene, and you move on and you move on. The next step is the outline where you really go into, okay, what's going to happen here? And so you can see there the equivalent of what I showed you before. So what I was thinking, how do I do this? How do I turn the prose into an image? And so you can see that we see the character picking up plastic bottles in Buenos Aires. And then we do what is called an intercut, where we actually see, we go into the past. And I decided to also, you will see here VO, voiceover. So we will actually hear his narration as he tells us why he's in Buenos Aires, a little bit of his past. So that was not evident at first. I really didn't know how to do it. I mean, there are many ways to do that. You can basically just keep everything in Buenos Aires and then do another section where you go fully into the past, right? But I felt that it was more dynamic to have him in Buenos Aires, say what he's doing, what he's feeling, and at the same time get these images of the past, right? So all of this to say that it was not, it's still, I haven't finished the adaptation, but it's not so easy. Hasn't been an easy process, but it's fun. It's I think, like Leila was saying earlier, you exercise different muscles. And then again, here I share with you another scene. The character who remains unnamed throughout the story, interacting with Agus. And yeah, that's just to give you a teaser of what I've been working on. And so now what I would like to do, and of course, if you have questions about this process, we can talk about that later. For the sake of time, I would like to read just a couple of paragraphs from a short story that I worked on in the past. And it's called The Way Things Work. And you have it there as well. So I went to the workshop hoping to get something from her. The email address of her agent, the names of potential editors, but I never thought she would ask me to do what I did. I had watched hours of porn, feminist, and also less kind to women, but I never imagined I would agree to do something like that with her. That morning, she started the workshop talking about her most recent book, The Importance of Setting One's Voice Free. More women need to have confidence in themselves and tell their stories, she was saying. I want to hear your voice. She mentioned a Norwegian writer and said that white men were never questioned about the need to tell every aspect of their lives. Why could women not do the same? But I was only half listening. I still had the news in my head. Another young girl found dead in Mexico. She had been kidnapped and raped, her body left for days in a swimming pool, 18 years old. What about her voice? I wanted to ask her how to be a woman and still believe there could be justice. I grabbed a coffee and went out to clear my head. On the street, I saw a line of children. They were laughing and shrieking, some of them holding hands as if their bodies were meant to be one. The sky was the coat of a ravaged animal, the clouds splotches of gray and deep purple. I didn't realize she was standing next to me. I wonder what this place used to be like in the past, she said. She had her sunglasses back on. She took a drag of her cigarette, and for a moment her cheekbone looked bigger than her face. There's a river running underneath, I said. A garbage truck appeared at the corner, and two men in orange vests were flinging white bags into the container. The sound of its stomach crushing the city's waste made me stop talking. We watched it trundle down the street. You've been silent this morning, she said. It's the men who have raised their hands. I could see a smile forming on her face. It's normal. I'm used to it. They have issues with what I stand for. Thank you.